When a Chinese warship locked its radar onto a U.S. Navy destroyer in the South China Sea, the ocean itself seemed to hold its breath. At 7:45 local time, a pulse of energy leapt through the air, the opening move in one of the most dangerous close calls of modern naval history. 12 nautical miles apart, two of the world's most advanced warships squared off, their captains staring down a line that could ignite an international crisis. And in those tense moments, one fact became painfully clear. The Chinese destroyer had picked the wrong ship to challenge, because the USS Chunghun, armed with the Aegis combat system and the discipline of decades of naval mastery, wasn't backing down. This was more than a test of steel. It was a test of nerve, precision, and resolve. 7:45 local time. The South China Sea lies deceptively calm, blue horizons, sunlight glinting off distant waves. But below that surface, every radar ping hums with tension. The USS Chunghun DDG-93, an Arleigh Burke-class destroyer, slices through the water at 18 knots, carrying out a routine freedom of navigation patrol near the Spratly Islands. Inside the Combat Information Center, green blips fill the SPY-1D radar screen, fishing boats, merchant traffic, and then one new contact. Its course is aggressive, its speed increasing. The operator calls it out. PLA Navy Type 0, 52D destroyer, closing fast. The radio crackles. A sharp Mandarin voice cuts through the static. U.S. Navy vessel, you are entering Chinese territorial waters. Alter course immediately. On the bridge, the U.S. captain listens silently, his eyes fixed ahead. No deviation, no reply, just calm professionalism. The Chunghun stays on course, asserting international law with steady motion rather than words. Cameras record the moment, a gray hull on the horizon growing larger, closer, louder. CIC teams switch to defensive posture. Every sensor, every antenna, alive and watching. The sea may seem vast, but here, every nautical mile feels razor thin. How far will the Chinese ship push its challenge before the destroyer responds? 0810 local time. The two warships now occupy the same stretch of ocean, a dance of defiance at barely 150 yards apart. The Chinese Type 052 D Luyang 3 class destroyer angles across the USS Chunghun's bow, slicing dangerously close, throwing up a wall of white spray. Collision alert, the bridge crew shouts. The destroyer's helmsman eases throttle, but the U.S. ship holds formation. No sudden moves. Every sailor on deck can feel the weight of the decision. Stand firm or risk collision. High-definition cameras roll as proof. Later, those images will circle the globe, showing just how close the line between peace and provocation can be. Inside the Aegis Combat Information Center, operators track the Chinese ship's radar. The tone changes. Sharper. Directed. They're painting us, one specialist mutters. The Chinese radar sweeps again, pulsing across the American hull like a warning glare. The Chunghun responds quietly but decisively. Electronic countermeasures hum to life. The Mk-45 5-inch gun pivots toward the intruder. Phalanx CIWS cannons whir in silent readiness. The ship is not looking for a fight, but it's ready for one. Above the water, only the sound of engines and waves fills the void between them. Below deck, every heartbeat matches the rhythm of the tension. Will the Chinese ship risk an actual collision or back off under the destroyer's show of readiness? 8:22 local time. Deep inside the Combat Information Center, a shrill tone cuts through the steady hum of machinery, the unmistakable pulse of a fire control radar lock. The Chinese ship has crossed the line. Confirmed illumination, reports the radar specialist. Type 052D is tracking us directly. Within seconds, the captain's voice fills the intercom. Set condition 1, all stations, man battle readiness. Red lights flash, steel doors slide shut. Every sailor aboard the USS Chunghun knows what this means. Someone has their finger on a trigger. The Aegis combat system comes alive. The SPY-1D radar snaps to high sensitivity, automatically tracking the source beam at 10 nautical miles away. Monitors bloom with green arcs, firing solutions, countermeasure paths, missile intercept zones. The destroyer now holds multiple target locks of its own, including preloaded SM-6 interceptors and Harpoon anti-ship missiles. Over the radio, a calm but firm American voice breaks the silence. Chinese vessel, you are engaging in unsafe targeting behavior. Disengage immediately. No reply. Only the steady pulse of the radar tone echoing through the CIC, a digital heartbeat of potential war. The air inside the ship feels heavier, denser, as if even the ocean has gone still, waiting for the next move. Will the Chinese warship disengage, or will the next second see missiles armed on both sides? 8:35 local time. The moment hangs like a wire stretched too tight. Then, the U.S. destroyer moves. The USS Chung-hoon executes a deliberate, hard starboard turn, angling its entire weapons array toward the Chinese Type 052D. In an instant, the ship's profile transforms from passive to predatory. From the bridge, sailors watch as the sea foams under the destroyer's flank. Inside the Aegis Combat Center, targeting screens light up. Multiple firing solutions lock in simultaneously. SM-6s, harpoons, and electronic warfare counterblasts ready on standby. Each system synced through Link 16 data link, giving the ship complete control of the battle space. Overhead, two P-8 Poseidon patrol aircraft sweep in from altitude 22,000 feet, transmitting live targeting data and infrared visuals of both ships. The message is unspoken but unmistakable. The destroyer isn't alone. On the Chinese vessel, the radar tone falters, then fades. The lock breaks. Within seconds, the PLA destroyer slows to 10 knots, then turns away, sliding back into the haze of the horizon. The ocean exhales. The Americans hold their course, engines steady, weapons still trained but cooling. They've made their point. Calm precision beats reckless aggression. What message did the U.S. destroyer's response send to every other ship watching the region that day? By the following day, the standoff has become headline news. Footage from the USS Chung-hoon's deck cameras, the close pass, the radar warnings, the controlled restraint, spreads across the world. In every Navy operations room from Washington, D.C. to Tokyo, commanders replay the clip in silence. At the Pentagon, officials brief reporters. They call the Chinese maneuver unsafe and unprofessional. Allied navies from Australia, Japan, and the UK echo their support, reaffirming that freedom of navigation is non-negotiable. Meanwhile, in Beijing, the story sounds different. The PLA Navy's South Sea Fleet labels the incident a routine defense measure, insisting that foreign ships had strayed too close. Behind closed doors, however, analysts note the Chinese vessel's abrupt retreat and what it revealed about the U.S. Navy's readiness. Inside the 7th Fleet headquarters, the Chung-hoon's crew submits an after-action report, detailing radar signatures, response times, and electronic warfare logs. The findings become part of a wider training protocol: how to stay calm when a single misstep could start a war. Out on the South China Sea, the waves roll on as if nothing happened. But the sailors who were there know better. They'd stared down an international incident and kept the peace through discipline, not panic. How long before another close call tests the edge of peace again? This confrontation was more than a flash of tension. It was a reminder. In the South China Sea, peace isn't guaranteed by treaties or promises. It's held together by discipline, training, and the steady hands of sailors who know exactly what's at stake. The USS Chung-hoon proved that real strength isn't in pulling the trigger. It's in knowing when not to. One wrong move could have turned a warning into a war, but instead it became a lesson in precision, patience, and power. If you want more gripping real-world Navy encounters like this, subscribe for the next mission briefing, because out here, on the edge of contested waters, calm under pressure is the ultimate weapon.